The Christmas tree in my parents' living room was 8 feet tall, covered in ornaments collected over 30 years. White lights twinkled. Bing Crosby crooned from the speaker system. 17 family members filled the house with noise and laughter. I was in the kitchen refilling the shrimp cocktail platter when I heard my sister's voice carry from the dining room. Amy never helps anyone but herself. I froze, shrimp in hand. That's not true. My cousin Jessica said weakly. Oh, it's absolutely true. My sister Nicole's voice had that edge. It got after her third glass of wine. She's the most selfish person I know. Always has been. I set down the shrimp, walked slowly toward the dining room doorway, where I could see but wouldn't be seen. Nicole was holding court at the end of the table. My mother on her right, my Aunt Patricia on her left. 14 relatives sat around them, plates full of Christmas dinner. What do you mean? My Uncle Dave asked. Nicole laughed that sharp, performative sound she'd I mean, she is 33 years old, and has never once offered to help anyone in this family with anything. Meanwhile, I'm constantly helping people out. My mother nodded. Nicole is very generous. Last month I helped Mom organize her garage, Nicole continued. The month before that I watched Dave and Linda's kids for a whole weekend. I'm always there when people need me. That's true, Aunt Patricia said. You're very giving, sweetie. But Amy, Nicole shook her head. She comes to these dinners, eats the food, and leaves. Never offers to help cook. Never helps clean up. Never volunteers for anything. My cousin Marcus shifted uncomfortably. I mean, she helped me move last year. One time, Nicole interrupted. She helped you one time. I've helped you move 3 times, Marcus. Right, sorry. I stood in the doorway, absolutely still. I just think it's interesting, Nicole said, warming to her subject now, that we all bend over backward for family, and Amy just doesn't. She's an island, only cares about herself and her little life in Seattle. She does have a demanding job, my father said quietly. He was at the head of the table, not looking at anyone. So, we all have jobs, Dad. That's not an excuse to be selfish. Nicole took another sip of wine. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. Amy takes and never gives back. I waited for someone to defend me. My father? My mother? Any of my aunts or uncles or cousins? No one said anything. The silence felt like agreement. I walked back to the kitchen, pulled out my phone, opened my banking app. My hands were perfectly steady as I pulled up the spreadsheet I'd been maintaining for 4 years. Every payment documented. Every date recorded. Every dollar accounted for. Then I walked into the dining room. Amy, my mother said, too brightly. We were just talking about, I heard. I set my phone on the table. Screen facing up. I heard everything. Nicole's smile was condescending. Look, I'm not trying to be mean. I just think you could contribute more to the family. Be less selfish. You're right, I said quietly. I am selfish. She blinked, surprised. Oh, well, I'm glad you can admit it. Absolutely. In fact, I'm so selfish that for the past 4 years, I've been secretly paying your car insurance. The room went silent. What? Nicole's smile faltered. I picked up my phone. Showed her the screen. Your car insurance? $847 a month for the BMW you bought in 2020. The one you said you could totally afford on your receptionist's salary. Nicole's face went pale. That's not. You couldn't afford it. Your insurance quoted you $1,200 a month because of your DUI in college. You were going to have to sell the car. I scrolled through the records. Dad asked me if I could help. Just temporarily, just until you got on your feet. My father wouldn't look at me. I've paid your car insurance every month for 4 years, I continued. And I paid off your credit card debt in 2021 when you maxed out 3 cards. $18,400. I pulled up the full spreadsheet, turned the phone so the whole table could see. Mom's medical copays when her insurance denied coverage, $12,800. Dad's emergency dental work, $8,900. Your son's daycare for 6 months when you were between jobs, $14,200. The down payment on this house when they were going to lose it to foreclosure, $18,411. My voice stayed calm, steady. Total family support over 4 years, $119,463. Aunt Patricia's wineglass slipped from her hand. It hit the edge of her plate and shattered. Red wine spread across the white tablecloth. No one moved to clean it up. You're lying, Nicole whispered. I have bank statements. I have transfer receipts. I have the spreadsheet that shows every payment, every date, every amount. I looked around the table. I've documented everything. Why would you? My mother started. Because every time someone in this family had a financial crisis, and every time he asked me to help, I said yes. I met my father's eyes. You said it would be temporary. That was 4 years ago. My Uncle Dave was staring at Nicole. You've been driving a BMW on Amy's dime for 4 years? I didn't know. Nicole's voice was shrill. Dad said the insurance was handled. It was handled by me. I looked at my mother. Your medical copay, the ones you said the insurance should have covered but didn't. I paid those. You complained about them at every holiday dinner for a year, and I just sat there and listened. Mom's eyes filled with tears. You never said. I never said because every time I tried to talk about money, someone told me I was being difficult. Remember last Easter, Nicole? When I mentioned I was stressed about finances, you said I needed to budget better and stop spending money on stupid things. Nicole's mouth opened and closed. I've been eating peanut butter sandwiches for dinner 3 times a week for 4 years, I said. I drive a 2008 Toyota with a cracked windshield and a broken air conditioner. I haven't taken a vacation since 2019. And you've been driving a BMW and telling everyone I'm selfish. The silence was absolute. I opened my banking app again, pulled up the automatic payments. What are you doing? My father asked. His voice was hoarse. Making better choices about how I spend my money. I canceled the car insurance payment. The screen confirmed. Recurring payment canceled. Next scheduled payment January 1st will not be processed. Nicole's phone buzzed in her pocket. I canceled the phone bill payment. Her phone buzzed again. Stop, Nicole said. Amy, stop. I canceled the monthly transfer to my parents' checking account, the one that covered the gap between their income and their expenses. The one they'd never asked about because it was easier not to know. My mother's phone lit up on the table, a notification from her bank app. Amy, please, my father said. We can talk about this. We've had for years to talk about it. You never wanted to. I put my phone in my pocket. Nicole, your car insurance payment is due January 1st. That's next week. You'll need to figure out how to pay it yourself. The quote from your insurance company is $1,200 a month, but you might be able to shop around. I can't afford $1,200 a month. Then you can't afford a BMW. Sell it. Get something cheaper. But I need a car. Then get a car you can actually pay for. I looked at my parents. The monthly transfer I was making to your account $2,400 a month, that's done too. You'll need to adjust your budget accordingly. My mother was crying openly now. We can't afford this house without that money. Then you need to sell the house down CCN Live. Within your means. You're being vindictive, Nicole spat. This is cruel. No, this is self-preservation. I am 33 years old and I have $847 in my savings account because I've been funding your lives for 4 years while you called me selfish. I picked up my coat from the back of the couch. Where are you going? My mother asked. Back to Seattle. I have a flight at 6 a.m. tomorrow. But it's Christmas. We haven't even had dessert. I'm done. I looked around the table one last time. Merry Christmas. I walked out. Behind me, I heard Nicole's voice, high and panicked. Dad, you have to fix this. I didn't hear his response. I was already in my rental car, pulling out of the driveway. My phone started ringing before I'd made it to the highway. Mom, Dad, Nicole, my Uncle Dave. My Aunt Patricia. I declined every call. At the airport hotel, I sat on the edge of the bed and opened my banking app again, looked at the canceled payments. The ones that had defined my financial life for 4 years. My phone buzzed. A text from my cousin Jessica. Amy, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. None of us knew. I texted back, I know. What Nicole said was horrible. You didn't deserve that. Thanks. For what it's worth, I don't think you're selfish. I think you're the only one who's been holding this family together. I stared at that message for a long time before I responded. I'm done holding it together. They can figure it out themselves. The calls continued all through Christmas night and into the next morning. By the time I boarded my flight to Seattle, I had 37 missed calls and 62 text messages. I read them while the plane sat at the gate. Nicole, you're ruining my life. How could you do this to me? Mom, please. We need to talk about this rationally. Dad, I'm sorry. I should have been honest with you. Please call me back. Nicole again. I'm going to lose my car. My insurance gets canceled in a week. What am I supposed to do? Mom, your father and I are looking at our budget. We can't afford the house without your help. Uncle Dave, your mom told me everything. I can't believe they let you carry that burden for 4 years. Aunt Patricia, Nicole is telling everyone you abandoned the family. I want you to know, I don't believe that. You did more than anyone should have been asked to do. I put my phone on airplane mode as we took off. The first week of January, I got an email from Nicole's insurance company. They'd tried to process her payment and it had failed. Her policy would be canceled within 72 hours unless payment was received. I deleted the email. 3 days later, Nicole called from a number I didn't recognize. Amy, it's me. Please don't hang up. I almost did, but something in her voice stopped me. What do you want, Nicole? They canceled my insurance. I can't drive the car without insurance. I'm going to lose my job if I can't drive to work. So, take the bus, get a ride, buy a cheaper car you can actually afford. I can't afford any car right now. I have $300 in my checking account. That's not my problem. How can you say that? I'm your sister, the sister who called me selfish in front of our entire family while I was paying your bills. The sister who has been driving a BMW for 4 years on my dime and never once said thank you. Silence. I didn't know, she said finally. Her voice was small. You didn't want to know. None of you did. It was easier to assume the money was just magically appearing. Dad said. Dad lied. To both of us, he told you the insurance was handled. He told me it was temporary. He lied so he wouldn't have to make hard choices. More silence. What am I supposed to do? Nicole asked. Figure it out, and like an adult, like I've been doing for 4 years while you partied and shopped and called me selfish. I'm sorry you're sorry you lost your free ride. You're not sorry for how you treated me. I hung up. 2 weeks into January, my father showed up in Seattle. I was coming home from work when I found him sitting in the lobby of my apartment building. He looked older than I'd ever seen him. Tired. We need to talk, he said. I almost kept walking. But he'd flown all the way from Colorado. You have 10 minutes, I said. We sat in the building's courtyard. January rain drizzled around us. I'm sorry, he said. I'm so sorry? Okay. That's not enough. I know. But I need you to hear it. What I asked you to do, it was wrong. All of it. I waited. I should never have asked you to pay Nicole's insurance, or the medical bills, or any of it. He rubbed his face. I just... Things kept coming up. Money was always tight. And you had a good job. And you never complained. So I kept asking. For 4 years. For 4 years? And I never thought about what it was costing you. I just saw it as a solution to my problems. He looked at me. That was selfish. I was selfish, not you. Me. Why are you here, Dad? Because you deserve an apology. A real one, not over the phone or text, face to face. He pulled out an envelope. And because I want you to have this. I opened it. Inside was a check for $5,000. It's not enough, he said. It's not even close to enough. But your mother and I are selling the house. We're moving to a condo we can actually afford on our retirement income. After we pay off the mortgage and the realtor fees, we'll have about $85,000 left. We're going to pay you back. All of it. $119,463. It'll take a few years, but we're doing it. I stared at the check. You're selling the house? We can't afford it. We never could. We were living on your money and pretending everything was fine. He took a shaky breath. That ends now. We're downsizing. Getting our finances in order. Learning to live within our means. What about Nicole? She sold the BMW, bought a used Honda with the proceeds. She's furious about it. But it's done. She's also looking for a second job to pay for her own insurance. And Mom? She's devastated. Ashamed. She wants to call you, but she's afraid you won't answer. I might not. I understand. He stood up. I'm not asking you to forgive us. I'm not asking you to help us anymore. I just wanted you to know that we finally see what we did, and we're sorry. After I left, I sat in the rain with the check in my hand. I deposited it the next day. Put it in a new savings account labeled Future. 6 months after Christmas, my savings account hit $20,000 for the first time in my adult life. I'd been putting away $2,400 a month, the amount I used to send to my parents, plus the money I saved from Nicole's car insurance, plus the phone bills and credit card payments. My financial advisor, the one I'd finally been able to afford to hire, looked at my numbers with approval. You're on track to have $50,000 saved by the end of the year, she said. That's a substantial emergency fund. After that, we should talk about investment accounts. Retirement planning, building real wealth. Real wealth. The concept felt foreign. What could I do with $50,000? I asked. Down payment on a condo, fully funded emergency fund plus retirement contributions. Bakayon fund, whatever you want. She smiled. The point is, it'll be yours, not your family's. Yours. 9 months after Christmas, Nicole called from her own number. I'd unblocked it a few weeks earlier, though I wasn't sure why. Amy, I wanted to tell you something. Okay. I got promoted. At work. I'm not a receptionist anymore. I'm the office manager now. It comes with a $15,000 raise. That's great, Nicole. Yeah. And I wanted you to know that I'm using the raise to pay you back. Dad told me about the payment plan, but I want to do my part too. The car insurance, the phone bills, the credit card debt. I'm paying it back. You don't have to. Yes, I do. Because you were right. About everything. I was selfish. I was entitled, and I took advantage of you for years without even realizing it. I could hear her breathing on the other end of the line. I've been going to therapy, she continued, trying to figure out why I was so awful to you, why I couldn't see what was right in front of me. And I think I was jealous. You were always so responsible. So put together, and I was always struggling. So instead of asking for help like an adult, I just took. And then resented you for having your shit together when I didn't. I didn't have my shit together, Nicole. I was drowning. I just didn't let anyone see it. I know that now, and I'm so sorry for all of Italiano. For taking your money, for calling you selfish, for being a terrible sister. I felt something loosen in my chest. Not forgiveness, not quite. But maybe the beginning of it. Thank you for saying that. I mean it. And I'm going to prove it. I'm paying you back. Every dollar. 1 year after Christmas, I stood in my new one-bedroom apartment, the one with the view of Puget Sound, the one with the balcony and the updated kitchen and the real dishwasher that worked. I'd signed the lease 2 weeks earlier, moved in last weekend, bought actual furniture instead of Craigslist finds. My phone rang. Mom? I answered. We'd been talking once a month now. Awkward conversations that were slowly getting less awkward. Hi honey, just calling to let you know the check cleared. My parents had sent $10,000 that month. Their fourth payment, they were on track to pay back the full amount by 2027. Thanks for letting me know. How's the new apartment? It's good. Really good. Really good. I'm glad. You deserve it. She paused. Your father and I were talking. We'd like to come visit sometime, see your new place, take you to dinner. Our treat. I'd like that. Really, really. But Mom, we're not going back to how things were. I'm not going to be the family bank anymore. I know, we don't want that either. We just want to be your parents, if you'll let us. After we hung up, I stood on my balcony and looked out at the water. The sun was setting, painting the sky pink and orange. My phone buzzed. A text from Jessica. Dinner next week. There's this new Thai place I want to try. Definitely. Your treat or mine? We'll split it. Like normal people? I smiled. Normal. What a concept. 18 months after Christmas, the family gathered again. This time at my Uncle Dave's house in Denver. Smaller gathering. Just immediate family. I debated coming, but my therapist, the one I'd been seeing since February, encouraged me to try. You don't owe them anything, she'd said, but if you want to rebuild relationships on your terms, that's healthy too. So I went. Nicole was there with her son. She'd traded the BMW for a 2015 Honda Civic. Seemed happy about it. My parents had moved into their condo, looked more relaxed than I'd seen them in years. We sat around Dave's dining table, 10 of us, instead of 17. Amy, my mother said, would you like to say grace? I looked around the table, at the family that had taken me for granted for 4 years. The family that had called me selfish while I paid their bills. The family that was slowly learning to see me. Sure, I said. I didn't say a traditional grace. Instead, I said, I'm grateful for second chances, for the opportunity to rebuild relationships on healthier foundations, for the courage to set boundaries, and for family that's willing to do the hard work of change. Amen, my father said quietly. After dinner, Nicole pulled me aside. I have something for you. She handed me an envelope. Inside was a check for $2,500. It's not all of it, she said. But I'm chipping away, $500 a month, until I've paid back the $65,152 you spent on me. Nicole, you don't have to. I do. Because you were right. I was driving around in a car I couldn't afford while you ate peanut butter sandwiches. That's not okay. It'll never be okay. So I'm making it right. I looked at my sister. Really looked at her. She'd lost weight, had circles under her eyes, was working 2 jobs to pay me back and support her son. She was trying. Thank you, I said. No. Thank you. For finally saying no, for showing me what I'd become. She smiled shakily. I'm a better person now than I was at Christmas last year. I'm a better mom, and I have you to thank for that. 2 years after that Christmas dinner, I sat in a coffee shop in Seattle with my financial advisor, reviewing my portfolio. Your net worth just crossed $100,000, she said. I stared at the number on her screen. 6 figures. Money I'd saved, invested, built myself. How is that possible? Because you've been putting away $3,000 a month for 2 years. That's $72,000 in contributions. The market's done the rest. She smiled. You're on track to retire comfortably, maybe even early if you want. What about the money my family's paying back? That's separate. You've been putting that in a different account, right? Yeah. The family repayment account. How much is in there now? I pulled up my banking app. They've paid back $47,800 so far. About 40% of the total. And you're not touching it. No. I'm saving it. Maybe for a down payment on a house someday. She nodded approvingly. Good. That money is yours. You earned it twice, once when you paid it out, and again when they paid it back. After the meeting, I walked through Pike Place Market, bought fresh flowers for my apartment, stopped at a bookstore and bought 3 hardcovers without checking the prices first. Small luxuries. Things I'd denied myself for 4 years. My phone rang. Dad. Hi, honey. Just wanted to let you know your mother and I paid off the last of our credit card debt this month. That's great, Dad. Yeah, first time we've been debt-free in 15 years. Well, except for what we still owe you. He paused. We're sending you $15,000 next month. Bigger payment than usual. We want to accelerate the timeline. You don't have to do that. We need to. It's important to us that you know we're serious about making this right. After we hung up, I did the math. If they kept sending $15,000 a month, they'd pay me back in full by next year. 3 years. 3 years, that's how long it would take them to repay a debt they'd accumulated over 4. But they were doing it, actually doing it. Epilogue. 3 years after that Christmas dinner, I received a text from my mother. The final payment cleared. $119,463 paid back in full. Your father and I would like to take you to dinner to celebrate. No expectations. Just dinner. Will you come? I stared at the message for a long time. Then I checked my family repayment account. $119,463. Every dollar accounted for. I transferred it to my investment account. Watched my net worth jump to $187,000. Then I texted back. I'll come, but I'm picking the restaurant. And yes, you're paying. We met at a steakhouse in downtown Denver. My parents, Nicole and her son, Jessica and her husband. Dad stood up when I arrived. Pulled me into a hug. Thank you, he said, for giving us the chance to make this right. You did make it right. It took 3 years, but you did it. Over dinner, Nicole showed me photos of her new apartment. 1 bedroom, modest, but hers. No roommates, this time, she said. Just me and Jackson, and I can actually afford it on my own. I'm proud of you, she smiled. That means more than you know. My mother raised her glass. A toast. To Amy. For having the courage to say no. For teaching us what we should have known all along, and for giving us the chance to be better. Everyone raised their glasses. To Amy, they chorused. I looked around the table, at the family that had taken advantage of me. The family that had changed. The family that had paid me back every dollar. The family that finally saw me. 2 second chances, I said. We clinked glasses. Later that night, back in my apartment in Seattle, I opened my laptop and looked at my financial accounts. Checking. $12,000 savings, $45,000 investment accounts, $187,401,000, $89,000. Total net worth $333,000. I thought about where I'd been 3 years ago. $847 in savings, eating peanut butter sandwiches, driving a car with a cracked windshield. I thought about what my financial advisor had said that first meeting. If you'd even saving this money instead of giving it away, you'd have almost $200,000 by now. I'd lost 3 years of compound interest. 3 years of building wealth, but I'd gained something more valuable. I'd gained my self-respect. I'd gained healthy boundaries. I'd gained a family that actually saw me as a person, not AATM. And I'd learned the most important lesson of my life. The most generous thing you can do for yourself is know when to stop giving to others.